Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I recently ran into something at work that made me realize that sometimes less is more, right? So instead of elaborating on like taking a day off, just say that you have an event and keep it at that. Don't say who it's with. Don't say what it's about. Oh, I'm not going to be available Saturday. Period. And a lot of times, believe it or not, that goes over without a question. If you start revealing too much, you run the risk of saying something that doesn't jive with somebody or maybe even might offend somebody, right? So, for example, I have an event, period, right? If I go out to see a lunar eclipse, you never know if the person that you're talking to may have a difference in opinion in that, right? If you say something like, God forbid you say it's a religious event, right? Or some kind of event like that, right? But you get the idea. Less is more. I ran into a little difficulty with well, this is something that I can run into a lot at the tutoring center. One of the students had brought in some fast food, and I have very sensitive milk allergy, and I had to back away from her. And I apologized to her. I said, "Why don't you work on this problem? I'll come right back to you, but I have an allergy." Period. Right. Instead of elaborating on how how the food might spread across the room, without even elaborating what I'm allergic to, right? And if the student insists on asking that, I'll just walk away until she's done with her food. And I find that goes a whole lot better. The more you explain, the more likely you are to say the wrong word to trip somebody. I was working at a different tutoring center when I elaborated a little bit too much. Actually, what had happened was I did start like that. My boss was upset and wrote me up for complaining about not being customer service friendly with the student, and saying that the person's food smelled bad. I never said smell bad. I'd rather smell something that smelled bad than something that I would react badly to, right? I don't have a problem with smell. I work with a lot of things that smell really bad when in my art projects, right? And that never bothers me. Right? And I never said that. And I started arguing with the boss as he was writing me up. What I should have done was, sorry, there's been a medical issue, period, right? Maybe at the bottom of the write up, sorry, medical issue, period. Instead of arguing about the smells or that I didn't say that or that, whatever. And I've learned a little bit of a life hack when I'm starting to feel like I'm going to get talkative. You see, I've gotten really good at memorizing a number of things. It's just out of curiosity. Memorizing the entire periodic table and memorizing all the US presidents in history and order. So, what I'll do is the boss says something, and in my head, I force myself to recite the next three chemical elements before I could go on. Okay, hydrogen, helium, lithium. Oh, maybe we could do it this way. My boss says something, you're being written up on this. Beryllium, boron, carbon. And then I'll think about what he's saying. I find by doing that, the notion of wanting to be talkative gets completely swallowed up by having to recite those elements in my head because I get to actually talk in my head, maybe not out loud, although sometimes I do move my lips a little bit. But it gets the desire to talk out of my system, and then I can problem solve. Right? This is the Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum.